So about me, I have been in the industry for quite a long time, maybe about 21 plus years. I was in the IT space. I was heading program management when I almost quit my corporate world. Post that, I've been a writer for some time, and then right now I moved into academia. Yeah, so I've been into spiritual writing. Right now I'm into academia. I'm just trying to, reach out to colleges. I do FDP sessions. I do reach out to MBA students. I do lectures for them. And apart from that, I also have a research background. So I do some kind of an educational research and other kinds of research as well. So that's in short about me. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually a lot of things that you've been doing and writing. That sounds very exciting. So, what exactly are you writing currently?
Currently, I'm not writing anything, but I've written a lot of articles on leadership. I've written articles on education, about wellness, health and well-being. And I have done quite a bit of spiritual writing as well in terms of bringing in the Indian knowledge systems into place, about a lot of the mythology and learnings from that, how to tie that down to management. So these have been my forte. Yeah. Yeah.
It actually sounds very interesting. And congratulations, you have excelled almost all the sectors, I would say. And the fact that you are writing so many amazing things about leadership actually serves the purpose of the podcast as well. So you're serving logistics as well as leadership so beautifully today.
Thank you.
And talking about how your career has spanned over sectors, different sectors in leadership as well as program designing, education, what motivated you to blend these different worlds together?
Students like you. Yeah.
That's
See,
so
the thing
sweet.
is, when you're part of the industry, you tend to meet a lot of people who are seasoned leaders who've been in the system for a very long time. And if you'll have to bring about change there, it's extremely difficult to bring about change with such people. Like, basically, because people have been in the system for a long time, everybody comes with their own diverse skills and backgrounds and a lot of thoughts. But when it comes to meeting up with fresh minds, with the college students, there's a lot of things that they come up with a renewed vigor and a renewed sense of thinking, a lot of other things. So, and I found it quite interesting to actually interact with students, and I wanted to connect industry with academia. In fact, I think we start with academia and then we move to industry, and some way the cycle gets complete when we come back into the academia is what I think. Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am. And that sounds really amazing because it's fun to know from leaders who have been in the corporate aspect as well. Because it's like when we talk to professors, there are professors who are just teaching since many years. So they just know the academic side, they know the book side of it. But if we talk to people who have experienced both, like you, then it feels more trustable, I would say. Like we feel that you know that side as well for us to complain about things that this happened in my corporate job, this is what I don't like, because you know it as well. So it's great. And I think the most amazing part about us would be the curiosity. We love to ask weird questions. And having people like you who are promoting us to ask questions, be out there, be curious is really helpful, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. I think curious, I wouldn't call it weird because no question is weird. Anything comes from a space of learnings, what I would look at it as. So yeah. Yeah.
But to be honest, that's still rare because not every professor or every corporate job would also, I would say, entertain a lot of questions, because after a point, it's just like, okay, are you sure you want to ask so many just yes and no questions? So, yeah, we try to reduce it as well. And when leaders in the industry and academia face conflicting priorities, say when we talk about innovation versus rigor, how do you mediate or blend such intersections of the sectors?
See, innovation needs rigor. Otherwise, we cannot innovate, okay, to be credible and sustainable as well. Because unless there is enough rigor to actually walk through the depths and breadths of it to understand how do you go about innovating, coming up with a new solution to address any particular situation. And that's when, unless there's rigor, credibility wouldn't be there, is what I would say. I think it's so it goes hand in hand. And in terms of speed and depth, I think that's neither of that is compromisable, because just because we want speed, we can't come up with a wrong kind of an approach or a solution to anything, right? So we'll have to need that depth to avoid any kind of superficiality and any kind of misalignment. Because if that depth is not there in the thing of going and meeting up with some timelines and all that, doing some things quickly. I mean, we cannot lose the depth of it or the correctness of what we are doing. So I think all this that you put together goes hand in hand. You cannot separate anything out from there. Okay, and then what is more important is ethical anchoring. So it's like when you're doing an innovation, like how ethical are you in terms of uh, using the innovative technologies or any thought processes or any frameworks that you're going to actually come and bring and put together. So there has to be some ethical anchoring out there, and there also needs to be some portfolio kind of thinking, because people may come from diverse backgrounds, right? Like even when you're an MBA student or whatever, you may see people from diverse backgrounds coming in together. So how do you tie everything together? People from different backgrounds, different domain come together, and if you'll have to put that in a management framework, still you need a common portfolio kind of an approach. It cannot be a specific domain kind of an approach, right? So where you bring up some kind of framework that's universal to everybody, and still there is always a sector, I mean, which is applicable to a few, which may not be applicable. So you have to go with a portfolio kind of an approach, some ethical consideration, some data-driven decisions. So all of this have to be put together. If you have to bring in that rigor, some kind of an innovation and some kind of a rigor in your approach to your management problems. So I think all this needs to be put together. So I think that kind of a mindset is really required, is what I would say.
It's actually beautifully put, ma'am. So it's like you can skip anything. You have to ensure there is a balance between maintaining the innovation, rigor, ethical aspect of things to make it work properly.
Yeah.
And talking about you, the fact that you have written and worked in the sector for so long, what leadership qualities are essential for transformation in sectors like supply chain and operations today?
Mm. Strategic thinking is really important. Okay, and adaptability and agility is the keyword for today's world. The world as such is agile, and along with that, if you, I'm not sure you've heard of the concept of agile. So it's about people over processes. It's about just cutting down all the corners and then going ahead with what's important alone, and then making sure that the people are flexible enough in their thinking. There is a growth mindset. All of this comes together to actually, I think, very important leadership qualities that are required to take anything forward. And like I said, continuous improvement, the zeal to learn, continuous learning, and being open to change. All of this is extremely important as a leader to actually go with the modern trends and to keep pace with young thinkers like you.
Wow, ma'am, that's actually beautifully put. And talking about how we need to ensure things stay in the same trend, like we do not miss out on anything, you have been the program manager to design and implement complex initiatives. So, how do you ensure that such programs remain adaptive yet structured?
Um, Proper planning. Planning is extremely important. And then you'll have to have a proper design as well. I mean, design is typically a project management word, but then I would say it's imperative in this world. We live in the world of design thinking as well. So I think anything comes with a very well structured, proper plan, and then you have a design for it. Because once everything is, even if you have to construct a building, I mean, you need a proper plan and design, and without which, when you start doing constructing something, and then somewhere in the middle you cannot say no, I'm going to scrap off everything and
Yeah.
start from scratch, right? Yeah. So I
True.
think that holds good for everything. So I think you need proper planning and design, and you spend a lot of time there, and then you know that your design, your plan, your thinking, everything is robust enough. Do you have the right resources in place? Do you have everything in place for you to actually go ahead with what you would like to do as part of the system, as part of the management framework? And once everything is in place, when the ground is free, in strong, and when your thought processes are put together in a proper way, I think structure naturally falls in place.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
actually perfect. The fact that I'm talking to a professor, I am getting just the exact, it's not elongated, it's not short. I'm getting just the perfect size of answer that I was expecting and looking forward to, and so beautifully explained. I think that does come with the profession that you are in, and I'm sure that your kids have no issues in following the concepts because it's just flowing through beautifully for me right now.
Cannot play this role. Nobody can, because you know what supply chain is all about, right? It's about bringing in the resources, the right resources that's required, and see how you go about. Have you watched the movie Mission Mangal?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you remember the Puri project?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yeah, so basically it's all about that. So somebody says mocks at her saying it's your Puri project, and how she actually looks at the way the shape of the Puri is, and how does she map it on to the orbit, the space orbit. I mean, look at the connection that she made. I think I could, when I saw this question, I could draw parallels with that, because typically when you look at supply chain, women are people who actually do a lot of resource handling, not just at work, even at home as well, right? So
Oh,
and about it's about operations management, about people management. We do all of it. So I think
who fits
the
best in women?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it just goes, I mean, naturally flows naturally for them. So that's what I would say. And more importantly, since you have that emotional connect, the empathetic connect, what is the requirement? What is the need when you come into the supply chain system, specifically on the operational side also? You know what is circular economy all about? We talk about rebuilding, using of existing resources, not making sure that there's no waste, and having an ethical kind of a sourcing, being creative about any kind of solutions that you come up with. Even if you have minimal resources, how do you go about bringing up a creative solution so that you have a maximum utilization of it and still have a good product at the end of the day, an outcome, and resilience at the end of it. If there's a shortage, how is it that you go about it? I think resilience is part of uh,
Making
probably
it work.
yeah. So that's part of a woman's I mean genetic
Nature.
makeup is what I would say, because it's just the physical construct, the mental makeup that a woman comes with in terms of the strength that she brings in terms of handling anything, and more so when you're a mother. It's like, yeah,
Definitely.
and the sustainability, your adaptability. I think all of this comes into place together and that's where I see a lot of connection between supply chain and operations and the role that women play, not just as I would say in any kind of management situation. I think women it comes naturally. Only thing is they have to try and map it to I mean, the two worlds together to see how best they can bring the outcomes. Yeah.
Definitely. And I feel that the way you described it, who is better than us when it comes to making the sector work beautifully, especially the emotional aspect, I think that women bring to the sector, because I feel emotions enhance the communication aspect of things and
Yeah.
makes it a more smoother flow for the whole organization as well. But at the same time, I feel that it is tough to survive in this sector specifically because of the way it's being presented, that it's a male dominated sector. It requires a lot of I would say dedication, like it's a 24 by 7 sector. So I think that is something that stops us. So what exactly in your idea can be the changes that can be brought to make it more flexible for women to function better?
I would say more rather than saying it's more complex, I think it's more fast-paced. Specifically when it comes to operations management, it's quite fast-paced, it's quite dynamic, too many changes happen. I think it's about too much of jugglery that needs to be done. So what I would suggest is still, I mean, if there's a proper plan in place and if you're able to actually put your thoughts together, um, to see how is it that you can bring in your value add, bring in a pitch where you don't go out of because see, while we say it's a male dominated world in many of the fields, but then still I think the perspective that women can bring in terms of, I just spoke of a lot of
Yeah,
areas where how, I mean, it's more comes more naturally. I think it's all about putting it forth with a lot of confidence and making sure that you bring in your own perspective, which is completely offbeat from what's being stated in the industry. I mean, it doesn't come out of the books. It's more from a personal experience that it comes, right? So if you could just
definitely.
tie that down, I mean, getting back the story again about the Puri project. I mean, the way it was shot down and then the way she actually brings it back with a lot of confidence, with a lot of, I think it's about how we put it forth also with a little bit of humor, with a little bit of confidence, and see
Yeah.
how to put it back. And when it comes to dealing with this fast-paced world, only first thing is as a woman, we should not get bogged down in the first place. While it's fast paced, when we're dealing with too many people who probably think they're better than us, then how do you go about it? It's what just putting forth your thoughts with a lot of confidence. Make sure that you're collected in your mind. and don't get unnerved by
Absolutely.
what you're facing, and then just be in the present moment, see what best you can offer to the situation. So I think the moment you're composed, calm, composed, and when you put your values and thoughts together, I think it just falls into place. I think that's what I would say.
Wow, ma'am, that actually is a lot of optimism. That's actually a lot of confidence we are getting when you say stuff like this, that it's actually not that bad and that it's not that hard if we are confident in ourselves. I think it's normal for, because you are such a spirit, you have written spiritual books, you speak about leadership. I think that's why you could convey it so beautifully that I think in simple words, you have control over yourself than on other people. So if you are confident and you have faith in yourself, then it's easier to convince others of the idea as well. Did
Yeah.
I frame it correctly for you?
Yes.
Perfect. That's exactly the idea. I was like, I'm not I that's how I picked it. That's how my brain took the advice. And I hope that it took it well.
Perfect.
And
Perfect, Anish.
ma'am, talking about the academia side of it, I personally, currently my sector is, specialization is global logistics, but my bachelor's is not engineering. So I like to ask this question. I've asked this to other guests before as well. But my question is, if anyone wishes to enter the sector other than the engineering side, is it actually that hard to adapt? Because many job descriptions ask for an engineering degree, and that's where people like me are at the standstill, like we don't know how to proceed then.
Not really, actually. Basically, they may look for an engineering mindset, but
Mhm.
as a management student, I think you would be given flavors of each of that, right? See, I mean, even if we are looking at diverse backgrounds in terms of what kind of management framework would fit into which kind of a background. So I think it's more management sits on top of an engineering layer. So I don't think it really matters, but maybe some groundwork may be required, is what I would say. A little bit of understanding. I wouldn't say, I mean, it's not possible for somebody to
Yeah.
do the entire study altogether, but you just need to know, understand, like how does every domain work, a little bit of it, and I think that should be it. So based on that, when the management framework sits on top of that, I think it should be easier to handle. In terms of recruitment, yes, they may have their thing, but it's all about you're a management student, so it's all about
Yeah.
convincing them to actually make sure
Make it
that you mean you understand and you will be able to bring up with your own solutions to that.
capabilities.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, ma'am. And talking about the amazing work that you're doing, writing different papers, publishing books, what exactly is your main long-term goal with the whole work that you're putting it in?
I would like to spend a lot more time with academia because it's been recent. The recent years is when I've got into academia and I've reached out to a few college students. I'm currently working on some research work as well in terms of in management and all of that, educational management. I would like to expand more on that and see how best I can offer more to the academia again. So, I mean, like I would like to reach out to more of the institutions and students, and I would like to expand my base over there.
As newbies in the sector should be aware of so that we can not just survive but excel in the sector?
Stay curious, stay optimistic, be authentic. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
when
exactly.
yeah,
One, two,
yeah,
three.
yeah. So when you're authentic, I mean, what when you actually speak yourself, and
Yeah.
authenticity, and when you're curious, you tend to learn a lot more. And yeah, I think that's what will help you sustain in the sector and excel as well.
Wow, ma'am. Thank you so much for enlightening us today and giving us a proper word by word, just precise answers to each and every question that I asked you today. I really did enjoy learning a lot from you, and I would love to know more about the amazing books that you have written so that we can read and let you know of how amazing they made us feel. So
Sure.
thank you once again for joining me today on Ladies Leadership Logistics and helping me learn so much.
Thanks, Aishi. Thanks for inviting me.